Hey guys, it is RollMF42, and today I'm finally going to be bringing a tutorial that I've been meaning to do for a while, which is how to get the weapons from Titanfall, or really just any model or anything you want from Titanfall. What you're going to need obviously is going to be the game. If you happen to still have the beta, you can use that as well, which is what I'll be doing for this tutorial. But the files should still be the same. If there's any difference, it'll just be other VPKs. Let me try to find it real quick. Origin keys. There we go. So as long as you have that, you're good to go. And then I'll leave links in the description for the following things, which will be the Titanfall VPK tool by this guy. I'm not going to try pronouncing it, I've already messed it up last time I tried recording. Anyways, then from Steam you'll want to download Source SDK. To get that, you'll just want to go to your library, and then go to Tools, and just scroll down and it'll be right there. You'll go ahead and install it, and then you go ahead and open it up, and then go to Bin, Episode 1, Bin. And in here, I'll leave you a link for this tool right here, MDL Decompiler, which you'll going to need for whenever we get the models. And then I'll also leave a link for the VTF edit for the textures, since this game does run off source. If you've done source porting, then this will be very similar. So, oh yeah, and I almost forgot, you'll also need 3ds Max for this, not just Maya. Since I'm not sure, there probably is an SMD importer for Maya, but I'm just going to be using the one that comes with 3ds Max, and I'm using Design 2010. So to get started, we'll go ahead and open up his Titanfall VPK tool, and then we'll go to File, Open, and you can just ignore that if it happens to you. Go ahead and direct it to your VPK folder, and then you'll want to open up the, I believe it's one of these directories. It's going to be English Client MP Common BSP. I'm not sure if it's different in a later update, since I'm not using the most latest version, but you'll want to open up one of the dir files, or else it'll throw an error at you. And then it should look like this. And if you go ahead and extend the models folder, we'll do this first, you'll see all the different things that are in the game. This tutorial will be focusing on the weapons, and I'll go ahead and do a pistol just so it's simple. So this was all these weapons are going to be code named sort of like in CoD. So you'll just have to kind of figure out which one's which. This is going to be the Hammond. This is the, I'm not sure the exact name. Let me just pull up the wiki so we have it on the side here. I'll leave a link to this website because it actually does it does help out a little bit. The RE45. So some of it's named similarly to what it should be, like Carbon 1, the B3 wingman and whatnot. So we'll go ahead and do we'll go ahead and go for the Hammond, why not? So that'll be the P2011. What you do is you'll want to click you'll right click it and then hit extract, and then you'll want to select a path. So I'm going to direct it to Files 86, my Steam apps, Common, World at War, Model Exports, Custom Weapons, and then I have a folder specifically for Titanfall stuff, and we'll just put it in here and hit OK. So now we'll want to go ahead and get the materials. So it's going to be the same thing, materials and then models, and then weapons. So we're doing the Hammond, so we'll go and right click there, and sometimes it'll just remember the path that you extracted to it before, so you can just do it again. So Titanfall, we'll hit OK. And then we'll see if it works here. You can get the sounds as well for the weapons. So we'll get the P2011s. And we'll extract it to the same place. I've already got all the sounds, but just for testing purposes I'll try it for the tutorial. So that should be everything we need. So you can go ahead and close the VPK tool. So now we'll go ahead and go to where we extracted it. Custom weapons, Titanfall. And then it extracts it in the directory that you exported in. So we'll go ahead and just check the sounds now. I recommend getting Audacity for doing this. It should include the sounds for both reload and I call it for reload and fire together. Alright, so that's probably what it uses. I'm not sure since I didn't really play much of Titanfall. But you could just play around with it. So let's say the main fire sounds are going to be 6 channels. Let me just try this over here. So then what you'll want to do is in Audacity, you'll want to go to Tracks, Mix and Render, and then change the project rate to 44100, and then File, Export, and then just export as you normally would for World at War sounds, which will be these settings, other uncompressed files, WAV, unsigned 8-bit PCM, and then for world sounds you'll just click on the track and then go track stereo to mono and export that. So now we'll go ahead and go to the models, and I'm just going to do a quick bit of rearranging. I'm going to call this P2011, and we'll go to models first, and these are going to be the files that it'll extract for each weapon. So grab it and put it in there, and then the materials. There's the VTF stuff. So now I can go ahead and delete these 2 folders. So now we'll just be working in here. So for this is the mistake I made. I went ahead and used the world model for the view, and I didn't realize that it's actually supposed to be the PT-POV files that you need to use. So if you're used to CoD, the quote-unquote view model of the gun is going to be the prefix PT-POV, and the world model will be prefix W. So what you want to do is you want to make a copy and paste it in here of the DX11 file, and then you want to rename it to have an 8.0 extension. And we'll do the same thing for the world model. Then you'll want to open up the MDL file in whatever you prefer for your text editor. I'll be using Notepad++. And right here at the beginning where it says IDST4, you want to change the 4 to a comma. And you'll want to do this for both MDLs. So now we'll go ahead and go to Cannon Fodder's MDL decompiler. And open it. So from here you're going to want to select the model or the MDL file, P2011. We'll go with the PT-POV first, and then for the second one you'll want to put it into the same folder here in the P2011. And then you'll want to make sure you have none of these checked, and then hit extract. And sometimes it'll crash while it's extracting, but usually whenever it does crash, it's already extracted the models you need, so you can just close it and then reopen it so we can do the world model. I've had it happen with a couple of weapons, such as the Car 101 that I did before, but it turns out fine. And now we'll just direct it to the world model, and we can leave the export path and hit extract again. And this is what it should pop up with, but if it crashes and it has the files, then it'll be fine. So we'll go ahead and sort it by SMD so we can see what we're doing. So these are all the anims. I've never really found a way to, or haven't tried finding a way to get them to work. I wouldn't be surprised if you could get them to work, but I'm not going to be trying that in this video. So we'll go ahead and open up 3ds Max. Yeah, excuse me while I take a drink of water. The main reason why we're going to want this is that way, in the case the same thing happens to what I have happened for the Car 101, we'll be able to position the items to what they or where they should be. It's a pretty nice selection. Let's see which monitor it opens on. I went over here. Alright, I'll just close all this extra stuff. Can I please? Thank you. Alright, so we'll go ahead and import the SMD. Just need to direct it. Steam apps, common, world at war, model export, Titanfall. And then now from here we'll want to select the V_P2011 DMX SMD, which is going to be the base gun. And then from here you want to deselect skeletons, deselect prompt for missing textures, and I think we can leave that and hit OK. Alright, so there's the main model. So now we'll go ahead and import the other stuff. And we'll get the magazine, deselect those, okay, and you can hit skip. Oh, I just imported the same model, didn't I? No? What did I just do? Alright, I'll just import it again from manually. So do max, okay. Import, and this time we want the magazine. Okay. Oh, you hit OK. It's my bad. And yeah, this is why. I'll show you what to do. And then we'll import side on. Okay. Okay. For some reason, I'm not sure if it's with every single weapon, but I've noticed with both the Car 101 and this one now, for some reason it imports the mag all the way over here, but it does these other ones and all the other attachments properly. So we'll see if we can figure something out in here. And then it just has the silencers. We'll go ahead and get both of them. Okay. And import square and select those. Okay, okay. So let's see. I really haven't used 3ds Max enough to be able to do anything. We'll just do the work in Maya. So we'll go ahead and select everything that we imported, which is the mag, the gun, the sights, and then the two silencers. Just make sure I got it all. And then we'll go to the 3ds Max symbol, export selected, and then we'll go to our model export folder. Steam Maps, common, lore, model export, custom weapons, Titanfall, P2011, and I'll be saving it as an FBX, and we'll call it view model. Or actually, we'll just do v_p2011, and we'll just leave everything to default. And okay. So now we'll delete all that, and we'll go ahead and do the world model now. So we'll import, scroll to the bottom, get that one, select those. Now you can see the mag. Whoops, no thank you. Import, go down here, and silencer, one of those, okay, file, imports, and the last one. There. Now select those three, and export selected, and we'll call it WP2011. Okay. And that's all the work in 3ds Max. Other guns will obviously have a lot more items, such as the different sights that there are, Holo, HCOG, and AOG. So you'll just do the same thing, import them all, and then you'll be good to go. You could import these as well if you wanted to actually have level of details, but I always found that just having the base one works fine. So what I like to do to clean up this folder is make a new folder and call it SMD, and we'll grab all the SMD files, put it in there, and then call it rig model, and we'll go ahead and put the it's going to be, if we do it by name, just select everything and deselect FBX files and put it into there. So now all we have left is VTF files. So now we'll go ahead and get the VTF edit opened up. I never bothered to extract it. You know what? I'll do it now, so I don't have to do it later. Go 64-bit. Alright, so go ahead and open up the program, and then go File, Open, and this is in my Black Ops folder. And then we'll go ahead and open up the color map. And then we'll go File, Export, and we'll leave it to that name and save it as TGA. And we'll open up the next one. We don't need to use that file in World at War. The normal maps seem to be broken with the version I have. I'm not sure if they were updated or fixed in a later version of the program, so you'll want to just do the same thing with that. So export and save. And now, if we go in here, we've got the two images we need, so I'll just put these all into here. And now we've got the two images for the gun and the models. For the attachments, they're in a separate folder inside of the VPK, so you just want to extract those as well. I believe it is just called attachments, and it'll come out with all of these, or at least most of these, the ones that I didn't make custom. And you'll just export them as you normally would, as we just did with the guns images. So we'll go ahead and open up Maya and start working in the view model. go ahead and drag the FBX onto here. And let me modify my grid real quick. No, 10. Apply and close. And we'll go ahead and just bring up the view cube so we can actually zoom in easily. And now we'll go into a file, save scene as, and we'll save it in our folder. And we're calling it view model P2011. Excuse me. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Open up the outliner. And because these are out here for some reason, not sure why it's exported like that, we just need to manually drag it in. So go to modify center pivot. If you have other attachments in the weapon itself, it's still going to be out here for some reason, and the mag will just be there. So since we're going to be working around the origin for later on in the rigging, we'll want to bring everything to the mag, and then we can just reposition the whole gun later on. So if you're new to Maya and you're not sure how I'm doing this is, I've had a few people ask me in the comments before. Holding Alt and left click dragging will let you pan around or look around the object, and then Alt middle mouse click will let you pan, and Alt right click drag will let you zoom in and out, as well as scrolling will let you zoom in and out. And then to bring up the move tool, you just hit W, or you can hit this little icon here. So now we'll just try to position it as close as we can. If we look at the weapon here, we can see that there's no part extending out of the gun like some of these other ones are. At least if there is, it's not much. Alright, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to select all of the meshes and do a Control G. And let me just select all of these and go to modify freeze transformations. The gun is already scaled. All that needs to be done is actually rotate. And if I remember right, it's a 90 and a 90 to get it to the right orientation for CoD. So we'll go window rendering editors hypershade, and now we'll go ahead and hold right click select object so we can figure out what's being used on these. So that's for the sights. Actually, now I just remember the easier way to do this. We'll drag this over here. Select the first one and do Control A to bring up the attribute editor, and then click the little square next to color, and this tells us exactly which one we need to be using. Titanfall P2011. Actually, this said it was a reticle, so attachments, and I don't believe I have a pistol. Oh, I do. Okay. So I'll just use that. So now it's got it. And we'll do the same thing. It uses two different colors. We'll do that later. Small cylinder suppressor. And a small square suppressor. And then this is the base gun camo. Same thing here. And these are the sights. Okay. So now just take a look at go around the gun, see if there's anything that can be fixed. Sometimes there will be overlapping meshes that kind of overlap. Like whenever you move around it, you can see that they're constantly trying to be on top of each other. And usually I'll just click the mesh and then hold right click and let go over face, and I'll delete the face that it's doing it on. But this doesn't seem to have that issue on any part of it that is at least viewable by the player. I'm just taking a close look at the mag. We're going to try to position it a bit closer to the... Where is it? Oh. That's a little better. Okay. So just freeze the transformations one more time. And we'll move this down. There. Alright, so for the sake of not having to have these weird names, I prefer to rebuild the materials myself. So I'm going to make a new one and call it TF MTL Weapon P2011 and we'll direct it to the file. Not sure why it doesn't show up like that, but whatever. And then what we do is, if you notice, some of these, or the meshes that these materials are on, are only a part, or on one part of it. So what I do is I select the faces during the right click face, same thing as before. I'll have the same color on these, so, or same material, so I'll just select them all. Actually, no, I'll just have different ones. And then I select it and then go to change it to polygons and go mesh separate. That way we'll have two separate things and then still have the original. And then we'll just drag these out. No, I didn't want it up there. Right there. Thank you. And drag this one out as well. And go to edit, delete all type history. And then now we'll go ahead and do the same thing to this over here. So hold right click over it and hit face. Select the two by holding shift on the second one. And then separate. And then do that. I don't know why it keeps going up there for no reason. Maybe it's just bad aim by me. And delete all by type history. And we'll go ahead and name these meshes for later on whenever we go to rig, we can make it easy. We'll call it iron sights, and then iron reticle front, and then these two had the same thing on them, so we can do a mesh combine. Actually, no, we'll keep them separate just for the sake of making sure they work right. Reticle back, that's the right one, and iron reticle back left. So now we have them all separated out. Then we'll move on to this part. There doesn't seem to, the only thing that seems to be here that we need to get separated is the hammer and the bolt. Usually for the guns you can do just a simple mesh separate and it'll get everything out into what you need. If you do an assault rifle or an LMG, it might be quite extensive, the amount of meshes it extracts. Beware of that. But luckily for us, it's just on two different meshes that we need, so we can just drag those out. And then the rest of the gun can stay intact, so we can do a mesh combine on the group, and then do edit, delete all by type history. And then we'll call this body, and then body. I'd like to just classify it by the parts that it's on. Body hammer. Let's back up. And then luckily for us, this is already separated, or this is already how it should be. There's no multiple materials on any of these remaining meshes, so now it's just a matter of naming them. So body mag, and this is the cylinder, so sir, cylinder, silencer, square. And delete that group, and then we'll just group these again. So now we've got everything separated out into what we need. We can start rebuilding the materials how I want to. Just resize this so I can still see the stuff. Alright, so now we'll go and select, I believe it was just all of these, body, mag, bolt, hammer, and the sight itself, and assign it to this material. Now it looks slightly better. And then we can find the ones that we can do, I believe this works, the unused nodes. Yep. So you just do edit delete unused nodes, or delete unused nodes, sorry. And we'll make another one, and call it TF, MTL, weapon, we'll do iron, reticle, and that encompassed all three of these reticles. 2, 3, assign, edit, delete unused nodes, and these used, attachments, and pistol vertical dot. We'll go ahead and rename it so it's that pistol vertical. There we go. And then the last two should be the suppressors. And I believe I have a format that I want to use specifically for those suppressors. So just give me a sec. I've already got it open. Okay. Or just opened that fast. And I'll just copy this. And this is going to be SML cylinder. I have no idea why I did it like that, but whatever. Small cylinder suppressor. And we'll select the cylinder and assign material to selection. And one last time for the last one. Wait, why isn't this doing what it should? Selection, and okay, there we go. And now on one last one. This is going to be SML again, and underscore square. There. Cool. And we just select that. Hold right click, let go over assign material to selection, edit the unused nodes. Where did my thing just go? Oh, I had, whoops. I don't know why it keeps like not setting the material that I tell it to. So there, so now the gun has the material set on it. how we want it to. And then we'll go ahead and just rig it for the sake of at least having it for this tutorial. Let's see. Joint tool. Joint somewhere. Center at 0. 0_gun. And then make another joint. Call it tag flash. There we go. That's fine. And we'll duplicate it twice. One is for tag, silencer, cylinder, and tag, silencer, square. Do another one and move it backwards. Call it. And we'll go ahead and do the mag first. Why not? Then this one is tag clip. Duplicate that and we'll move it upwards to where the bolts is. And this will be j_bolt. And then tag hammer from the duplicate. If you're wondering, in case I lost you with the duplicating, it's Control D. And then Control D one more time. And do tag sites. You could bind it to the J bolts, but indicates in the case that you decide to add your own like red dot site from Black Ops 2 or whatever other attachment up here, you can just easily use high tags or move the models off easily. And then we'll go ahead and take sites and we'll just select everything that we did. Oh, I forgot brass. Sorry. Control D, tag _brass. And it'll probably be like back here somewhere. And then we'll select all of these and middle mouse click drag them into J-gun. And then we'll want to select the hammer and the sights and drag it under J-bolt. So now to make sure that our meshes are ready to go, we want to go ahead and select all of the meshes and do freeze transformations. And then now we'll start binding. So now we just go tag hammer and we select the body hammer, change this to animation, go skin, bind skin, and then the little square next to smooth bind. Make sure your bind to is set to selected joints and hit apply. And now select the sites and then go skin, bind skin, smooth bind, and then tag clip, skin, bind skin, smooth bind, and then cylinder, go cylinder, skin, bind skin, smooth bind, square, smooth bind, and then the rest of it is just body that should be left. To check, we just hit 4. And, oh, I didn't bind the bolt. So now it should just be one mesh left. Yep. Select J-gun, select the body, skin, bind skin, smooth bind. And there you have it. Oh, one last thing. You'll want to go ahead and select all the meshes, change to polygons, go to color, hit the little button next to apply color, and change this to white, so drag it all the way over there. Or if you click here, just change it to these settings, saturation all the way to the left, and hit apply color. And that is a Titanfall weapon. Now from here you just you can do custom animations, or if you want to, you could delete this rig, or unbind everything, delete the rig, and then re-rig it with another pistol. One that I did before that worked fairly well, and that you could try is the M1911 from Black Ops 1. But yeah, that's pretty much up to you. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys that have been wanting the Titanfall weapons. So please remember to rate and comment, and I'll see you guys later.